Why the Manosphere keeps training people for failure. The Manosphere sells itself as a rescue mission for men. But look closely, and it usually is not training men for strength, stability, love, or freedom. It is training them for failure. Not obvious failure at first. The kind that looks like swagger online and emptiness offline. The kind that turns pain into ideology, insecurity into performance, and loneliness into contempt. Start with the truth most people miss. The pain is real. A lot of boys and men are lonely, socially disconnected, ashamed, confused about purpose, and taught that vulnerability lowers their value. Public health research has warned that loneliness and isolation damage both mental and physical health, and the U.S. Surgeon General has described social disconnection as a serious public health threat. Research on masculinity also shows that stronger conformity to rigid masculine norms is associated with poor mental health and less favorable attitudes towards seeking psychological help. So the wound is real, but the Manosphere gives men a false diagnosis. It tells them their suffering comes mainly from women, feminism, female nature, or a rigged sexual marketplace. That story feels powerful because it converts shame into blame. It is emotionally efficient. You do not have to examine your wounds if you can point at an enemy. And that is exactly where the trap begins. The business model depends on that trap. Researchers studying Tate's content found that this style of Manosphere influence plays on boys' fears about money, status, and their future position as men, then packages misogyny as realism, confidence, humor, and hope through dating advice or entrepreneurial fantasy. The point is not to heal insecurity. The point is to keep insecurity activated so it stays profitable. That is why the Manosphere keeps training people for failure. It rewards the exact traits that sabotage a functional life. It teaches externalization over responsibility. It teaches performance over character. It teaches image over substance. It teaches domination over reciprocity. It teaches that being emotionally unreadable is strength, when in reality it often means a person is underdeveloped, defended, and easy to manipulate. And the algorithms help it along. A 2024 UCL-led study found that TikTok accounts set up around interests like loneliness, masculinity, or self-improvement were pushed toward more misogynistic content within days, with recommended misogynistic videos rising from 13% to 56% after 5 days. The pathway matters. Many users are not searching for hate at the start. They are searching for answers. But the platform learns that anger, blame, and sexual grievance hold attention better than nuance or growth. This is the central scam. It markets itself as self-improvement, while quietly destroying the psychological traits that self-improvement actually requires. Real growth needs honesty, frustration, tolerance, delayed gratification, social feedback, emotional regulation, and the ability to update your beliefs when reality contradicts your ego. The Manosphere trains the opposite. It trains men to protect identity at all costs, to reinterpret rejection as oppression, and to treat complexity as weakness. It also breaks relationships before they even begin. Relationship research has found that men's hostile sexism is associated with lower relationship satisfaction and greater attachment anxiety. And other studies link hostile sexism to greater aggression in intimate relationships under certain conditions. In other words, if you train men to see women as manipulative opponents, you do not make them harder to exploit. You make them worse at trust, intimacy, and partnership. Then comes contempt, the emotion the Manosphere treats like intelligence, sneering at women, mocking empathy, laughing at commitment, treating care as weakness. But contempt is not wisdom. It is relational poison. Gottman's work in relationship science identifies contempt as the top predictor of divorce. So when an ideology trains people to be chronically contemptuous, It is not preparing them for love, family, loyalty, or peace. It is preparing them to destroy the very bonds they claim to want. This is why so much of Manosphere culture feels strong, but produces brittle men. A brittle man can posture, but he cannot bond. He can dominate a comment section, but not his own impulses. He can memorize female nature, but cannot regulate jealousy, tolerate rejection, or communicate clearly. He calls women the problem while carrying a mind trained by grievance, a body trained for display, and a nervous system trained for suspicion. And to be clear, not everything adjacent to these spaces is wrong. Going to the gym is not wrong. Wanting discipline is not wrong. Wanting higher standards is not wrong. Wanting to feel attractive, respected, and purposeful is not wrong. The poison enters when ordinary self-improvement gets fused with misogyny, paranoia, humiliation, and status obsession. Then growth becomes theater. You are not building a self, you are curating a mask. So what is the logical antidote? First, stop treating resentment as insight. Feeling hurt does not automatically make your worldview accurate. Second, replace grievance with competence. Learn a real skill, improve your finances, train your body, and fix your routines. But do it to become more capable, not more marketable. Third, build male friendships that are honest enough to challenge you. Real brotherhood does not amplify your delusions, it corrects them. Fourth, practice emotional literacy. Not endless self-disclosure, but the adult ability to name what you feel, tolerate it, and respond without turning pain into punishment. Fifth, leave any content ecosystem that needs you angry to keep you engaged. The moment a creator profits from your bitterness, you are no longer being taught. You are being farmed. The deeper solution is even simpler. Train men for reality. Reality says confidence is earned, not performed. Reality says women are not a cheat code, an enemy class, or a reward system. Reality says attraction without character collapses. Reality says discipline without empathy becomes cruelty. Reality says a person who cannot connect, cannot adapt, and cannot examine himself is not powerful. He is unstable. So my view is this. The Manosphere keeps training people for failure because it mistakes male pain for a license to remain psychologically primitive. It gives wounded men a costume instead of a cure. It sells certainty instead of accuracy, identity instead of growth, and enemies instead of solutions. That is why it so often produces men who are easier to provoke, easier to isolate, harder to love, and less able to build a meaningful life. The actual antidote is not anti-male. It is pro-reality, connection over isolation, accountability over blame, critical thinking over algorithmic conditioning, respect over contempt, competence over performance. Heal the wound, reject the grift, and build the kind of strength that still works when nobody is watching.